Hello and welcome to Iordan&Emily, today with only Emily. And the reason for that is because I did something very exciting last week that I wanted to share with you guys. And that is that I went on a silent retreat. That means that I did not talk for 5 days straight. I wanted to share with you guys, first of all, what is that? Then why the heck would you do something like that? And then I will talk a little bit about my personal experience. I went away from last Monday to today, Saturday. We went in a group of 6 people with 2 mentors into the mountains, which was amazing and beautiful. There we went hiking every day between 4 hours, and I think the longest was probably like 8 hours that we went on hiking tours. But the special thing was that we did not speak at all during the 5 days. Besides, so we had this thing that said safety before spirituality. We did talk when there was questions, when there was something very important, or about the organization of going. So this is day 1. We just started. We came here, we had a little reflection time, and for dinner we're going to start and be silent completely. I'm gonna turn my phone off and just be here in silence and listen. Then we also had little spiritual snacks, which were mostly just snippets of the Bible that we meditated on during the day, and on our way up the mountain, and on our way down the mountain, and during the time that we were at the cabin. We had a half an hour a day, more like 20 minutes, half an hour, that we were allowed to talk with one of the mentors, which means that we weren't allowed to talk about the things that were on our mind, about our spiritual process. Did I meet God? What has God been telling me through the Bible passages and stuff like that? Everything that was on our mind during this time, we were able to share in that half an hour. The day started with us getting up at 7:15. We had a type of morning stretch workout with a little prayer in the end, just to get into the day nicely. And then we had breakfast, which all of the meals also we were sitting together as a group, but we were in total silence. After breakfast we started going, usually about 8:30. We started with a small meditation, and like already in all of our gear, ready to go. And then we went the way. The highest we went were 1,998 meters over sea level, which was about 1,010 meters over where our cabin was. So that was beautiful, and it was also very hard, and I learned a lot about my resistance and about my fears also, because it was small ways, like narrow ways sometimes, where there was a mountain on the left and mountain on the right, where it just like went super steep, and we went on the small paths. It was so beautiful once we were up there. Yeah, and why would I do something like that? Why would I say, okay guys, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna not talk for 5 days straight? I, if you didn't know, study theology, and for me it's very important to stay connected with God and to get to know myself, to to be able, because that's something that I want to do later, to help other people through their own spiritual processes and getting to know God better, getting to know themselves better. This is the second time I've done that. The first time we were in a monastery, and it was a different type of silent retreat. It was still in silent. It is so amazing because if you don't speak and have nothing coming from the outside, so no internet, no messages that you get, no, we didn't even read books besides the Bible. You have so much more room to listen to your own inner voices, to listen to God, and sometimes it's really helpful, even if you don't believe in God and you're like, okay, but for me there's no reason to do that. Getting away from your everyday life. I think that's probably why people like to go on vacation so much. Like getting out, stepping out of what you do every day and looking at it from the outside can really be helpful to just breathe through, be refreshed. Sometimes there's things that we just don't really manage to work through when we're in our everyday life, but looking things of our character maybe, but looking at that from the outside really gives you an insight on a lot of things. For me, it was an amazing experience, first of all, because I've never hiked so much. I've hiked a day trip or something like that, but in an entire week, going on a trip every day, that was something very new for me. And also going so high with a group that we're all motivated to do the same thing. Then being in silence, you get very creative in a different way, meditating on not many words, just over and over again, having your own thoughts, maybe even listening to your own thoughts, or realizing that you're not thinking anything at all at the moment, is just something that you never have time for, and you don't have the room for in your everyday life. Because even if I take some time off, usually I have some type of other influence that gets me, that's distracted, like the internet, series, guilty, different things, or someone just wanting something from you, not being able to work at all, not being able to answer emails. That has been very refreshing, and something that I would tell all of you is a really good idea if you have the chance to do it. That was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you next week. Bye!